Senator Abetz.
Thank you, Mr President. My question is to the Minister for Foreign Affairs. Can the Minister update the Senate on the importance of Australia's relationship with India, and how is the government strengthening our bilateral ties?
Minister for Foreign Affairs, Senator Payne.
Thank you very much, Mr President, and I thank Senator Abetz both for his question and particularly his interest in this matter, given that he is the Australian patron of the Australia-India alliance. What the Morrison government is doing is delivering on our commitment to deepen Australia's relationships with key partners in the Indo-Pacific. India is, of course, the world's most populous democracy and a rising economic and strategic power in our region. And last week, Prime Ministers Morrison and Modi held a virtual summit, India's first, indeed, a landmark moment in the ties between our nations. Australia and India agreed and announced that we will elevate our relationship to a comprehensive strategic partnership underpinned by democratic principles, the shared promotion of the rules-based international order and the preservation of an open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. In a time of what are great global challenges, it's more important than ever that countries such as Australia and India come together to reinforce our common values. A new joint declaration on maritime cooperation signals the commitment of Australia and India to a rules-based maritime order in the Indo-Pacific, which is founded on respect for the sovereignty of all nations and international law, particularly the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. The partnership will strengthen maritime domain awareness and increase cooperation on major transnational challenges such as people smuggling, arms and narcotics trafficking, climate change, terrorism and illegal, unregulated and unreported fishing. Our partnership is grounded in strong people-to-people links and the invaluable contribution of Indian migrants to modern Australia. As a proud resident of Western Sydney, I can tell you that Harris Park would never be the same without the contribution of our Western Sydney Indian community and so many vibrant parts of the Indian diaspora in Australia.
Senator Abetz, a supplementary question.
I thank the Minister for that extensive answer and ask, can the Minister advise the Senate of other key outcomes of the virtual summit between Prime Minister Morrison and India's Prime Minister Modi last week?
Senator Payne.
Thank you very much, Mr President. And the Australia-India Comprehensive Strategic Partnership is a major and significant reflection of the relationship between our two countries. And it takes our relationship to a new level of practical cooperation, reflecting both the depth and the breadth of our mutual interests. In addition to the CSP text itself, we've signed 8 substantive agreements that will strengthen technical cooperation and create new opportunities for Australian businesses. We'll work more closely than ever with India to build our ties in mining, in critical minerals, in vocational education, training, water resources, public administration, science and technology and defence. And with Minister Reynolds, the Defence Minister, and I are very pleased that we've also agreed to Foreign and Defence Minister 2+2 meetings at least every 2 years. And Australia is just the 3rd country to join such meetings with India, along with Japan and the United States.
Senator Abetz, a final supplementary question.
Minister, how will further cooperation between Australia and India on cyber affairs and critical technologies advance our strategic interests and provide new opportunities for Australian businesses?
Senator Payne.
Thank you very much, Mr President. Last week, Minister for External Affairs Jay Shankar and I signed a new landmark Australia-India framework agreement on cyber and cyber-enabled critical technologies cooperation. This arrangement will create opportunities to strengthen our technical and economic linkages with a technically aspirational India. A new Australia-India Cyber and Critical Technology Partnership will create a research and development fund for our businesses and researchers and support other countries to improve their cyber resilience. Australia and India have a shared vision for an open, free, rules-based and secure internet. And importantly, this will also ensure that cyber and technological cooperation will sit at the core of our new comprehensive strategic partnership as we forge a dynamic Australia-India 21st century relationship.